It's Saturday, August the 21st, King of the Mountain State Show. I'm Chase Hill. We're 1 week away from our next event in Huntington, August the 28th, the Mountain Health Arena. It's going to be round two for the heavyweights. We're also going to be introducing the light heavyweight division, something I'm really excited about. A lot of these guys pack almost the same power as the heavyweights, a little bit quicker, a little bit more action, should be really exciting. One of those fighters that I look for a lot of explosive stuff out of is sitting here with me today, my guest, Zach Gillenwater.
What's up, Chase? Thanks for having me, man. It's exciting to be my first podcast type interview thing, so that's pretty cool.
Well, it might be your first interview, but it's not going to be your first fight. You've had plenty of fights. Before we get into that, first off, tell me a little bit about yourself, how old you are, where you're from, where you're living at now, some of that stuff.
Well, I'm 27 years old. I grew up and went to school in Madison. I went to Scott. I live in Lincoln County now in Hamlin. I've been going to Glenville State College. I'm still a student there. And, I was on the boxing team at Glenville. I'm representing them right now. But I'm online since COVID, screwed everything up. So I've been online and, training down in Southern West Virginia, but still my coaches from Glenville will be in my corner next week and stuff. So.
And that's a great program they've got up there. Well, I'll give you a chance to talk a little bit about that. But before we get to that, how do you get into boxing? Like, I know, there's a bunch of different MMA and different stuff that you did, but at what point did you decide to really take boxing as your primary focus?
Well, as a funny story, when I first saw a fight on TV, I wanted to start going to the gym. My dad wouldn't let me. So I would go in my room and shut and lock the door and climb out the window and go to the gym and come back and be like, well, I went. And like, after that happened a couple of times, my dad just started letting me. And, I just trained for a long time doing different stuff, like even some MMA and stuff. And then eventually, like, I just had some boxing smoker matches and fell in love with it. And so
how old do you think you were when you were crawling out the window to go sneak to the boxing gym?
I was like 15.
Yeah. So, and we talked a little bit, we've got to know each other a little bit. I'm from Boone County. You're from Boone County. I went to Scott High School. I didn't graduate there, but I went there. Growing up down there, that's a tough area too. That's a good thing to have as far as I think I saw more fights in my school than I did outside of my school growing up in Boone County. So, a little bit about that. Who are you training with? Who's the coaches, GMs, different places you're going? Who is it that will be in your corner that night?
I have Coach Dwayne Chapman from Glenville in my corner with Coach Ashley as well. But I've been doing a lot of my sparring down here in St. Albans with Tony Dunlap, I believe, is the coach. And then I work with some guys, get my sparring in with Anthony Sevilla. He's a pro. Roman Belcher is a young guy we got down here, Nolan Stanley, and Emmanuel Summerfield. We actually all got in somewhere yesterday. Shout those guys out. They've been pushing me in the gym and stuff. So
how does that program at Glenville work? Do you guys compete against other colleges, or is it just kind of something you do there locally? How does that work?
Okay, so we do kind of like, it's kind of cool. They want to make the college fights, but there's obviously not a lot of colleges that have boxing teams. Like I've fought and won actually against WVU when I was, but we mostly just USA boxing fights, Golden Gloves, trying to do national tournaments, I fought Virginia, Tennessee, we went up to Ohio and Cleveland, just USA boxing fights. We try to fight WVU when we can, but just not a lot of colleges have a team.
So when you guys go to those events, do you typically travel more than one guy? Like, do you take several guys to go compete and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we try to. If possible, we try and get everybody matched up as we can.
And I know you had some USA boxing experience. To me, that's always been where I've leaned. Like, not very many people get to do this college experience where you get that kind of training there. But the USA boxing growing up, like, that's really what transitions into being a really good boxer, learning the skills and the science of boxing. Tell me a little bit about your USA boxing career. How'd that go?
Well, I think USA boxing is just not enough. It's crazy to me how some of these other fights and stuff and get a lot of attention, and they're great promotions and stuff too. But USA boxing seems like it gets, by the people that don't know, it gets pushed to the back. I mean, that's where the real good fighters are. You know, the guys that are in the Olympics. That's all USA boxing and stuff.
Well,
So I fought some good guys and stuff, and has had a lot of success. You know, wins and losses.
well, you're right. A lot of times, when all of a sudden a pro will start to gain some momentum as 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and a lot of the fans are like, "Where'd this guy come from?" This guy's been competing against the best. He's been in USA boxing. It's just not as promoted the same way as it is, some of the other things, even kind of like what we do gets more coverage than what the USA. I've been to USA boxing events that's had some of the best talent in the region, and there'll be 35 people there watching it,
Yep.
but that's where the real fighters are at, and they're fighting each other. All right, we're 1 week away from your King of the Mountain State debut, the light heavyweight division. I'm super excited about it. Like I mentioned on the intro, I love the knockout power of the heavyweights, but they are big guys. They're not the fastest moving guys. Sometimes when you get down in the middleweight, they're fast, but they don't pack the same power. I've always loved the range around 165 to 180 pounds. Those are the guys to me that can still bring the power to knock you out, but are also quick and a lot of action. When you go to fight this thing, we're going to find out the next couple of days who you're going to be fighting in round one. When you got the invitation to be a part of this based on your resume, it didn't take very long for you to make a decision on it. Tell me how that process happens and how you decided to throw your name into the hat.
I just seen some of the other guys that were involved in it. And it seemed like I was like, hey, these guys, I've even fought some of the guys before, seen them at events and stuff. I was like, hey, this, I want to be a part of this, see who the best man is.
Yeah. And as far as, we did our homework whenever we were putting the list together and trying to find guys. We didn't want the guys who couldn't fight. So we tried to put together a who's list of guys for this. And I feel like you guys have scared off some of the competition. Like this has really been hard to find. Once we announced the first 6, 7, 8 guys that was fighting, nobody else wanted a part of it, and that goes a long way to say, yeah, a lot that goes. So when somebody comes out after this tournament, they says, no, I could have beat him. Well, you had the opportunity, a lot of guys had the opportunity and they didn't want any.
You miss all the shots you don't take. So
that's right. And, I'm seeing you get a lot of support on Facebook, on our posts, people liking it, mentioning your names. I've had a lot of personal messages to me say, hey, man, Zach Gillenwater can really fight. This kid's going to be good. He's going to make some noise. Tell me a little bit about the support there that you've gotten, because it is Boone County, but it's not just Boone County. So tell me a little bit about that stuff.
Man, I just like I said, we go at Glenville. We go everywhere and fight. We always fight the best people possible. We always show up. We always bring it. So and we're always super humble. You know what I mean? I always want to be, the people that reach out and stuff. Down to earth like that. You know what I mean? I just box. I'm just a normal guy like you too. I just like to fight.
Right.
So I think that people can, resonate with that a little bit, and then plus the way I fight, I think a lot of people like to watch my fights. So I don't think I've ever been in a boring fight.
That's good. So when your fans show up next Saturday and a few of them's got on some brown shirts and we announce Zach brown shirt Gillenwater, everybody's going to wonder where that came from. I know where it came from, but tell everybody how that came to fruition.
Well, it's a kind of anticlimactic story for such a funny nickname, but when I moved to Lincoln County, I didn't really know nobody really, and I started playing basketball with some guys, and you just holler, like, you don't know somebody's name, you're like, hey, blue shirt, blue whatever. Right. And so I had a brown shirt on one day for whatever reason, and it just stuck. I don't know why. For years and years, it's just stuck.
So if I was in Lincoln County somewhere and I ran into these guys and I said, hey, y'all know brown shirt, there's a good chance they're going to know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. If you ask anybody like my age and younger, so they're going to be like, yeah, we know who brown shirt is.
Right. I tried to find one for the interview. This is about as close as I could come to it. So, but no, we got the lottery draft coming up. It may happen tonight. It may be tomorrow. We're going to keep the fans posted on Facebook when we're going to do that. It will be live. You'll find out who you're matching up in round one. It's a good thing it's totally random. If it wasn't totally random, there's a guy in this tournament that I would would match you up with to kind of settle the score. You've had a little bit of experience with Ladre Stallworth. Technically, officially, that went 1-1. You won one, and he won one. He's in this tournament as well. Is that how it played out to you?
Well, I believe that I won. I think the first fight I won 2 rounds. He won 1 round. They gave it to him. It was a close fight. It was a good fight. I feel like that I did enough to get. I should have got the decision, but I didn't. And we met again at the Golden Gloves that year at 178, and I won unanimous decision. So that's been 2-3 years ago. So we're 1-1. We're bound to get matched up in this tournament. I think that he's one of the better guys in the tournament. I think I'm one of the better guys in the tournament. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we meet somewhere.
Well, and whether it's round 1, round 2, whether it's the finals, you guys might end up back in the ring, settle the score once and for all. 2-1, somebody's going to win. It is just a week away, Zach. Tickets are on sale now online at kingofwv.ticketleap.com. We're going to be streaming this live for everybody who can't make it out to the arena. That'll be on combatsportsnow.com. We're going to be posting those links on the Facebook page as we get closer. I'm super excited coming up in the next 24 to 48 hours of finding out who you guys are going to be fighting. That should be super exciting. I'll give you a minute before we wrap this thing up. If there's anybody you want to give a shout out to.
Yeah. My boy just walked in the gym.
There you go.
Hey, this is a young dude. This is an up and comer. You guys got to watch out for him.
What's your name?
Roman Belcher.
Roman Belcher. All right, we're going to write that one down. We'll be ready for you in a couple of years.
Yeah. Hey, when he turns 18, I promise you guys. This is an up and comer for sure. He just walked in the gym. We're about to get some work in right as soon as we finish this up.
So who else is on the list? You got anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah, man. I have so many people over the years, but a couple people in particular. I got Coach Dwayne Chapman at Glenville State College, Coach Ashley. All the guys I'm sparring with, Roman, Anthony Sevilla, Summerfield, Nolan Stanley. One of my best friends, Frank Scarborough, that I train with at Glenville. It
looks like you got a pretty good team put together there. Sparring is a thing that some guys in our area have trouble finding. Looks like you've been able to locate some good work, so that's good.
We got to travel, but we make it work.
Right. All right, man. It's 1 week away. I look forward to watching you fight. I haven't got a chance to meet you in person yet. Boone County boy, you know where my heart's at. So I hope you do really great. Stay tuned. We'll let you know when that draft is and you'll find out who you're fighting.
All right, man. Can't wait.
All right, train hard. Yep. I'll see you in 1 week, man.
Yep. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Yep.